Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is March 22nd, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to you. Let's see. Work was good. It was fine. Overall, we made it from point A to point B or point Z, whatever. We're home now. We're chilling. Let's see. Food corner from last night. We had it was a bit of a scrappy meal. I had rice. I had some ramen, and then I had some cheesesteak, and I had some popcorn chicken that I had, and I kind of mixed them up, put it into individual bowls in terms of like the noodles and then the rice, and had a little bit of a what is it, spinach lettuce mix or whatever for a little bit of a roughage, I guess you could say, and some egg rolls. So yeah, I mean overall it was yummy. I'm glad it turned out good. I, it was one of those things where like as I was like kind of snowballing the idea together, like what I wanted to eat, I was like, okay, I know I want a noodle dish with the cheesesteak I have. I want to just make that. I know it's weird, whatever. I'll run that. But then I was like, you're definitely gonna want a little bit of rice. So like, go ahead and make your little rice. And I never make a little bit of rice. I always make a whole bowl, big bowl portion. I always do that. I can't make it any smaller for myself. I don't know. I'm not gonna half the measurement. I'm just not fucking with it. Okay, a cup is a cup, and we're running with that. Let's see. But yeah, it turned out good. Because I was like overwhelmed. That's why I'm muddling over my thoughts. I was worried. I was like, okay, now I have too much food. Like, I'm looking at this rice. I still want to make these noodles. I'm making these noodles. Oh my god. But then I was like, fuck it, it's fine. We're gonna work it out. It'll all come out in the wash. And sure as shit, it did. So yeah, it was really yummy. Long story longer. Anyway, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Oh, I also, for snack, I got fat. I said I wasn't gonna snack, and I lied. That was a lie. I hit up that vending machine, and I got my little chocolate little cupcakes, and then I got a Hershey's cookies and cream. So, I'm bad. Color me bad. I don't care. I'm just going to be fat. And I know, like, winter's over, but I don't care. I'm going to get on a spring layer of fat instead of losing weight, I guess. I've just forsaken it. But, it is what it is. I really hope it warms up because it's still too cold for me. And I can get back to doing some walks. And hopefully that'll be good. Tighten up on the the diet or scale back, whatever I wanted to call it. I don't know. Anywho, I feel like that's enough blabbering about myself. Went a little long in the tooth there. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and then we'll get into some news. How's that sound? Okay, from Yahoo News. Islamic State group claims responsibility for Moscow mass shooting that left dozens dead. Here's what we know. The Islamic State group claimed responsibility for Friday's mass shooting at a popular concert hall on the outskirts of Moscow that left dozens dead and injured more than 100 others, the Associated Press reported. ISIS, which the United States has designated as a terrorist group, said in a message posted Friday night to the Telegram messaging app that it had attacked a large gathering on the outskirts of the Russian capital, Moscow, and that the attackers had retreated to their bases safely, according to the Moscow Times. Those claims could not be independently verified, however. Let's read a little bit further. Friday's shooting occurred at Crocus City Hall, Krasnogorsk. That's butchered that. I'm sorry. West of central Moscow. RIA Nasati, a Russian state news agency, reported that at least 3 people in camouflage burst into the ground floor of the venue and opened fire with automatic weapons, wounding multiple people. The Associated Press, citing the Federal Security Service, reported that at least 40 people were killed and over 100 people were injured in the attack. So, I mean, that's a lot of damage. Also, I mean, just looking at the picture, I'm still trying to figure out, like, where the fire occurs, like, where the blaze happens. Like, I don't know, but apparently they came through and they hit hard. Obviously, it's very fucking unfortunate. This took place as a Russian progressive rock band, Picnic, was scheduled to perform a sold-out show at the 9,500-seat venue on Friday, according to officials. The shooting occurred before the start of the show. So, yeah, I mean, I was literally just, chilling right before I was about to, clock out for, for work for the day. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I was looking at my phone, like, fuck. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously you're going to a show, you're here to have a good time, you're not thinking about it, and the next thing you know, you just hear, like, you just hear gunfire, you see people fucking hitting the fucking deck, like, whew, I really can't imagine, I really can't, and that's like a scary thing, right, because I feel like we're living in a world where this just becomes more and more of a thing, right, I mean, it's coming from America, and I just feel like it's one of those things where it's just like, in the back of your head, but it just becomes like, eventually this is gonna happen to me, right? Like, I'm gonna have to like experience being in that. It's so scary, but I mean, I hope not. God damn, but I should knock on wood. Let's see here. Primarily based in Iraq and Syria, the Islamic State and its offshoots are a Sunni jihadist group. They also operate also in Afghanistan and Africa, and have been known to recruit fighters from Russia. Yeah, I don't know exactly like what is any of the specific motive involved here, but these things are just going to happen, and I mean, I'm glad I was able to wait long enough to get a story that said, hey, they've claimed responsibility, they posted a telegram, but yeah, I think that there was a bit of warning about this. Like, the U.S. kind of had some foresight. Also, Moscow, I believe March 7th, or no, that was March 7th. That was from the U.S. Embassy, I believe. Yeah, the March 7th statement advised U.S. citizens in the Moscow area to avoid large gatherings over the next 48 hours. But according to Reuters, the embassy issued a warning several hours after Russia's Federal Security Service, or the FSB, said it had foiled an attack on a synagogue in Moscow by a cell of the militant Sunni Muslim group Islamic State. So maybe this was like a tit for tat for that. Maybe this was just an inevitable thing, because a lot of these situations, it's like plans within plans, where it's like, yeah, we are planning this thing, we're planning that thing, and then like we got that cell over there, they're going to do this thing. And this is happening, all throughout the world. I mean, that's just, that's how terrorism works a little bit. And then a quick little TDLR, I guess, whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is sad wherever this happens. Crazily enough, like the lens did get shifted to Ukraine. And of course, like, they had a spokesman come out and say like, no, dude, we didn't do this fucking shit. We're not connected to this shit at all. So, which I believe. I think this is a completely different thing. It's on another track, But yeah, I mean, trying to add levity where I can here, but obviously very unfortunate, and hopefully, we see. I don't want to say we see less of it. I mean, obviously that's what I hope, but condolences to the family is really what I'm trying to say. Goddamn, shit sucks. Fuck. I mean, and I'm moving from one shitty situation to another situation. Technically, I feel like it's kind of less shitty, because we're gonna talk about a royal. That's right. We're going back to London, jolly good old London. Once again, another Yahoo News joint. Princess of Wales cancer latest. Kate receiving chemotherapy treatment. Whew. Okay, so King Charles has said he is proud of the Princess of Wales after she revealed she has been diagnosed with cancer and is undergoing a course of preventative chemotherapy. In an emotional video message recorded on Wednesday and released on Friday, Kate said it had come as a huge shock and said that she and William were doing everything to manage this privately for the sake of our young family. So yeah, I mean, obviously we talked a little bit here and there. Really, we only talked. Oh, we've only talked really once about it, but I've been actually a little bit amped. To, like some of my friends have talked about it. I've been seeing a little bit on the social media, about Kate Middleton. And I mean, yeah, a lot of conspiracy theories are swirling around. I feel like in a lot of ways, this dispels some, but then like ignites others. It is an ongoing, endless enigma machine. And I mean, I get it. Like, privacy, you should respect the privacy, but then that's also juxtaposed to like, this is a royal family, and like, part of your role is being in the public and like, being visible. I feel like, I mean, maybe that's, I don't know, wrong or passe to say, but what good are you outside of that, right? But, that being said, that aside, obviously cancer fucking sucks. I've lost technically 2 loved ones to that shit, in my life. So there's that. And, this is someone who's Princess of Wales. Like, technically they're not doing anything. Like, so it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm not really trying to beat the brat here, I personally. But at the same time, I understand people who do. I also understand the motherfuckers who are being like hella voyeuristic and like, no, I want to know everything. Like, what kind of cancer you got, motherfucker? Like, because like, once again, like, these are the people who are more or less, when you go into the goddamn roots of it, like all the colonialism shit and all that, sun doesn't set on the goddamn English Empire, all that rah ta. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, you're gonna breed motherfuckers like that. People are gonna be fucking curious. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, best of wishes, best of luck. Like I said, this isn't, to me, this isn't like a Kissinger level thing. This isn't a Rumsfeld level thing. This isn't a Bush dying or anything. But at the same time, am I going to shed a tear if something bad happens? No, no, I'm not. And obviously, old sausage fingers, King Charles, like, I mean, that one, I'm kind of rooting for. I don't know. But yeah, they do a little bit of the rundown there, but I wanted to mention that, talk about that, since that's some more new news to talk about. So yeah, and please keep hitting me up with your Kate Middleton rumors, conspiracies. I love that shit. I eat that shit up, like scone, like a little crumpet. Yeah, so please come my way with that shit. Let's see here. Let's see from the next story, not Yahoo News. It's from Reuters. And investors greenlight Trump's $5.7 billion Truth Social deal. Sorry about that. Former U.S. President Donald Trump came a step closer on Friday to reaping a major windfall from his social media firm after investors in a blank check acquisition company approved a merger currently worth about $5.7 billion. So that's big news. I mean, poor guy Trump, he's really fucking struggling right now. He has a $454 million judgment. We've covered this shit, with his civil fraud case, in terms of like overestimating his wealth, all that bullshit. So he's really under the gun. He's really fucking worried about it. Like, people aren't, they're not giving him any loans. He can't really like bail with these bondsmen over this shit to like do his appeal. So he's like kind of in the cooker right now. And Letitia James, the attorney general, is like literally like licking her lips, like doing Birdman. Like, I'm about to take your fucking Trump Tower, bro. I'm about to take an estate, brother. I'm about to play Monopoly with your shit, bitch. And I love that for her. I love that for Trump. I love this shit. Like, it's so fucking funny to me. And it's crazy to me that Truth Social is worth this much. So, I mean, kudos to him. Like, that's crazy that people are flocking to this shit by the millions. Granted, if you compare his numbers from Truth Social to his numbers on Twitter, the site that he like doesn't use anymore because he's more or less like bound to use the Truth Social shit. Like, it just dwarfs in comparison. Like, there's like, I don't know. I should probably go find it. But I want to talk about more about the story I ran into at work, actually. I want to get anecdotal with it. So one of my coworkers, I'm not going to name him or anything. But he's a little Trumper. We get along. We do what we can. We have our little talks. And he came up and actually mentioned this to me. And I had known about it a little bit. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, this is happening. I know. And this has been an ongoing thing too, because he's the kind of Trump guy who was like really like scared and maybe bummed when like Trump lost, and he comes and tells me, "Hey, Isaiah, actually, I think my wife and I, well, we're done. We're not fucking with Trump like that anymore. We aren't voting anymore. Actually, like it's all shit. Blah 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 blah." But since the top of the year, he's kind of changed beats, which I knew he was gonna fucking do. I knew this motherfucker was gonna be a goddamn true to form Peter, and he was gonna deny his little Jesus and come back to it and be like, "I'm so sorry. Actually, we need Trump. We need Trump so much. Like he's actually the lesser evil the way I see it." Okay, by all means, bud. But so this is always a fun little discourse we have, and I jab him about it that he's come back to form and everything like that. He's got his banners and his shit back out. But that being said, I'm trying to see where I wanted to pull here. If I can pull the number stuff, if I can find it. Let's see here. The deal is poised to deliver a vital $300 million cash infusion to Trump social parent, Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG. The social media company lost $10,006 million from its operations in the first 9 months of 2023 on revenue of $3.4 million. It has been funding itself by borrowing $40.7 million through convertible promissory notes that can be paid back in stock. So it's crazy. I mean, granted, most of these kind of social media companies are always in the red. Twitter has that same fucking issue. Facebook, I think, as well. Might not be 100% sure. But, like, it's hard to get profitable in these kind of situations. And, I mean, one wrong move can fuck you up. I know with, like, Zuckerberg and the VR. Like, that was just a bad goddamn call. And he's still, I think, reeling from that. But, ooh, my stomach is growling. It's eating time. I'm sorry if you're hearing that. But he's really trying to leverage this moment. But that being said, we don't know if it's going to, pan out in time. Also, there's potential lawsuits from other people in the company that are like, hey, we should actually be getting more stock, so we're actually going to sue you. And so there's a chance that he's not going to be able to liquidate the money he could potentially make off of this deal in time to pay off his debts and, keep all of his shit in order. So we don't know. And I know, sorry, I got in the weeds here. I lost my pacing. I don't feel like resetting the episode. That's a waste of time. Like I said, I'm hungry. So we're gonna take the L here. Let's see here. What else did I want to pull before we move on? Oh, yeah. This is, I think, kind of where I was kind of getting at before I got my little mental whirlpool. Trump has a $6.7 million followers on Truth Social, compared to the more than 88 million followers he had on X when the platform permanently suspended him, and the 87.4 million followers he currently has on that platform. So like I said, he really doesn't tweet anymore. He's more or less beholden to Truth Social. But, like, this is something where I feel like Trumpers really love this space and they really thrive here. They get to say whatever the fuck they want. They get to do whatever the fuck they want. And I mean, you could look at the layout, at least from the last time I saw it, and say, oh, this is dog shit. But, like, no one really cares. I mean, people go to, like, goddamn 4chan or whatever and goddamn say whatever the goddamn whatever. They go to Reddit. Which, speaking of which, I mean, Reddit's doing some, like, IPO stock shit. That's probably news I should talk about, and maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's interesting, but also only if you're, like, a Reddit nerd, so maybe not. We can say I covered it there. I don't know. But needless to say, I mean, I guess if you're a Trumper, you're rooting for this. You need Daddy Trump to get this fucking deal done and dusted, and so he can flip that into saving, once again, the Trump Towers and all the fucking estates and all that goddamn shit. It's worth so much money. It's so good. It's more than you ever could understand. I know my Trump is bad right now. Anyway, let me get off this landmine that I walked over. We have one more thing to cover, and then I'll let you go. But you know what that means. I got to recharge. I got to take my last break, and then we will call this pig stuck. That's probably a terrible reference to use for this pun that we're about to get into, but I don't care. I don't give a shit at this point. It just is what it is. Our last story comes from NPR. First human transplant of a genetically modified pig kidney performed. Excuse me. For the first time, surgeons have transplanted a kidney from a genetically modified pig into a living person, doctors in Boston said Thursday. Richard Slayman, 62, of Weymouth, Massachusetts, who is suffering from end-stage kidney disease, received the organ Saturday in a 4-hour procedure, Massachusetts General Hospital announced. He is recovering well and is expected to be discharged Saturday, the hospital said. I saw it not only as a way to help me, but a way to provide hope for the thousands of people who need a transplant to survive, Slayman said in a statement released by the hospital. Now, I gotta say, this instantly gave me vibes because I know we covered David Barnett's story last year, and that was, really crazy to just be like, oh my gosh, like this person is running off of a pig heart in that situation. Like, that's crazy. Unfortunately, that person passed away, but that was still a very big mile. I mean, granted, it was the second time that happened, but still, that's crazy. And this is no less, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it's a big moment, I feel like. And, it's cool that we are making these kind of strides and it's becoming more common to see, and that there's an actual potential rollout that we have for this. Let me just go ahead and get into the text. The procedure is the latest development in a fast-moving race to create genetically modified pigs to provide kidneys, livers, hearts, and other organs to help alleviate the shortage of organs for people who need transplants. Our hope is that this transplant approach will offer a lifeline to millions of patients worldwide who are suffering from kidney failure, said Dr. Tatsuo Kawai, the hospital's director for clinical transplant tolerance, in the hospital statement. Let me see here. Several biotech companies are racing to develop a supply of cloned pigs whose DNA has been genetically modified so they won't be rejected by the human body, spread pig viruses to people, or cause complications. NPR recently got exclusive access to a research farm breeding these animals for a company in this competition, Revivicor Incorporated of Blacksburg, Virginia. Excuse me. The kidney transplanted in Boston came from a pig created by eGenesis of Cambridge, Massachusetts. The eGenesis pigs are bred with 69 genetic modifications to prepare organs for human transplantation. The changes protect against a virus known to infect pigs, as well as delete pig genes and add human genes to make the organs compatible with people. So, yeah, without them doing this gene editing, the body would just simply reject the part. It just wouldn't work. Also, I think that there's a fear as well that's like, well, you're doing this, I think you're trying to do foresight to make sure that there's no disease spread, but what if there is? So that's potentially a con that could happen. Also, I think something I think about just thinking about the heart thing, and granted, maybe the heart is different from the kidneys in terms of importance, but I mean, either way, when this thing potentially fails, that's potentially an issue, right? So I'm definitely thinking about how long is this going to last? And I think a third thing, and I think it's back to kind of going back to the article, the idea of what about the life of a pig? And I mean, we could be like, well, these are clone pigs, these are genetically modified, but I'm sure there's people out there. I know there's people out there. Fucking ring, it's PETA. I'm throwing blood on you. That would definitely be upset at the idea of this, saying that you are devaluing or not. You don't value the life of these animals like the lives of these humans that you're about to just slaughter in mass for this project of yours that may or may not be working or doesn't work for very long. Who knows? But I think where I land personally, obviously this is just me, Isaiah, the podcaster. I like this. I think it's great. I think giving a person more time with their family is amazing. These are really great strides in medical technology and science and all that shit. But hey, this is coming from a person who eats, all kinds of beef and shit, and it's just fucking around. It doesn't, that kind of shit doesn't bother me in that way. I think more time is good time, right? I don't know. So we'll see. Another thing I think that's really fucked up here is the pricing of it. At this point, obviously, this is very new prototype type shit. Once it gets streamlined and commercialized, who knows? Hopefully this is something that is going to actually benefit people of color and people who are less enfranchised, the word I'm looking for, you know what I mean? Who don't have the money, and not to mention these wait lists are so long, and people I can just read again. Let's see, more than 103,000 people are currently on the waiting list for organs. About 17 die every day because they can't get one. So, clearly this is something that's a massive need. So, once again, talking about myself and my perspective, I am a person who's I think humans matter a little bit more. I'm more prone to see you get your piggy hybrid organ thing. Let's see if this hybrid theory works out. Waka waka waka. I don't know, but call me canceled. Call me crazy for that. I don't know. But that's it. That's really all I have. I know, a bit of a extra messy episode, Sloppy Joe. But thanks for sticking around if you did. I know analytics say usually people tune out and they're done about halfway through my goddamn spiel. But I'll tell you, I love that shit. I'm here for the clickers. I'm here for the lingerers. I'm here for the people who actually, take the breaks and startups with me. I love you all. You're all so great. Ways to enhance the effort, to help out the effort. Let's see. I have Patreon. Let's just get to that. Isaiah News one. Oh gosh. Maybe I don't. I'm just fogging out here. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. That's we're falling apart. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. That's a free way to hit me up. You can follow me on all the socials. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Is that it? I'm literally just fogging out. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. I think that's who I am. I think that's where you can find me and give me money. And yeah, you get a shout out, and I plug a project and thing you like. I swear I can do it. I promise. Top of the month. I'm good for it. I promise. Actually, don't hold me to that, because sometimes I miss that too. Let's see. But it's a tip jar, really. Let's just cut the shit. But I do actually have some extra episodes. There's some old goodies, where I talk about maybe some old traumas even. Oh, who knows? They're there. They're archived, That's the thing. Gosh, Isaiah, what are you doing? Let's see. I'm telling you about the socials. I told you that. Please subscribe to the YouTube. I got a couple new subscribers. You guys are making me so happy. It's good. It's good for the algorithm. Good for the goose. Good for the gander. So I thank you so much for that. I know this was a terrible episode, but you could just leave a good review. It's just not illegal to do that. It's literally fine. No one's gonna stop you, and it would be great if you did. You can leave a thumbs up. Even who didn't like it. It's crazy. Sometimes people, they go, I'm gonna leave a thumbs down, and I'm like, wow. But you could just leave a thumbs up, and that's cool. You could share it if you'd like. Maybe not this episode. Maybe a better episode that you know of. But if you want to share this, I don't care. I'm fine with it. It's already out here. It's on the internet. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.